Hi, I'm EGR Kadya Chanda from second year computer science, and this is my user account app or something. I forgot what it's called. So here's the app. First, I'll demonstrate it. Here we have the table of all the accounts, and then we have 4 buttons, which is add, edit, deactivate, and then close. So for add, we can use this to add accounts to our table. So let's put here test case 1. So if we add that, we can see that it is added here, and then if we can edit that account. So test, if we want, let's say we can change the password, and then we can change it to admin. So add, here we can see it has been changed. We can also deactivate account. So here we can see status is active for our test case. If we deactivate it, it switches to inactive. Then we can close the app. And then since the app saves our inputs, if we run it again, we can see that the account we added is still here. It's been saved. So to get to our code, this is our main method basically. It just launches our window. It launches our main fxml, which we use app controller for our controller. So here, first is we initialize the table. We set the ID column, which we have here, ID, username, password column. We set the value to a property value factory, which is the appropriate value of property or something. So ID, username, password, and then we have, that's on our table view here, which uses observable list, which we initiate here. So after that, we would set the items for table view now. So we'd set items and then user list, and then after that, we would just wait for a button click. We would wait for each of this, or for one of these to get clicked. And then for all of this, we use just one method, which is handle button click. And then we have a switch case, which identifies which one has been clicked. So if it's add, we open the add panel. If it's edit, we open the edit panel. If it's deactivate, there's not really that much code to use, so I didn't make a separate panel or a separate class for it. It's just deactivate. And then for close, it just exits the whole program. So let's start with our add panel here. This is our add panel. So to open our add panel, we have this, and we actually pass our app controller to our add controller because we're gonna need our user list and a lot of other stuff like deactivate, add account to user list, remove account. That's why we would pass this app controller instead of making a new app controller inside the add controller. Now here's our ad controller, this one. Once we click our add account, it would trigger our handle button click, which would grab both username and password text from the fields. And then first to check if they are empty. If they are, we won't add anything. We will just flash a label right here. Input all fields. And then else, if it is not empty, it would run the command that we want, which is to add the account using the entered username and the entered password. And then we would add that account that we created to our current accounts, which is a collection of accounts that we have. And then we would add that account to our user list, which we use to display our accounts, and then we use save and close. Now this save and close is located in our app panels, which is extended to this one. So we have here save and close. It saves, it reads, and then it calls the close window method here, which just closes the window. Now for our show error here, this one, we also use this up panel method, which is show error. There's when we first open this, there's actually a label in here that doesn't have a text. And then if we add account, we change that label to say input all fields, and then we flash it red using a timeline animation. So okay, that's this and this done. We'll talk about our save and read file later on, I think. So our update panel, let's close this. We have edit. Edit is basically update panel. It functions almost the same as our add panel, except this time we would have, first we would check if the fields are empty. Here we only need to check username and account type, because new password, the user kind of like, the user don't have to put a new password. If let's say on our test case here, we have test and then account type admin, that would edit it without changing the password. So we have that. It also has the same show error. And then if we have another check here, we check if, we already discussed this, if the fields are not inputted, and then we then check if we selected a valid account. So if we edit here and then we put the wrong name, like let's put name, it would be an error. We have to input all fields. There, invalid username, which shows the user what mistake they did. It's basically a feedback or something. And then when all of those checks are done and we have an account selected and we have all fields inputted, we would now we would update our account. This one is also a check, sort of. If the entered password is empty, we would just get the old password, then put that to our new password, and then have it here, update account. And this one uses the same format for the the arguments as creating a new account right here. It's ID, username, password, account type, and then status. So ID, username, password, account type, and then status. For the fields that we don't want to change, we just use our getter methods on our account to get our old value. So the old ID, we're just gonna use that for here because we do not change that. And then we save and close. And then for our remove button click, we just grab an account, the inputted account, sorry. We grab the inputted account, we remove account, and then we remove it from the user list, and then save and close. It's that simple. Now for our deactivate, which is really short on our app controller. It's here, deactivate method. If selected account is not null, we just set our status to inactive. We save and then read, because once we save, we would need to, or no, if we save it without reading, it would not update the table. So we would have to read the save file for that. Now for our account and account manager method or class, or our account here, it contains our information for the account. Oh, sorry. This is the same way that I did it on the previous activity participants. Actually, I just adapted it to work with the table view and observable list. Then here, setter methods, and then our getter methods. And then here is our account manager, which we use to manage the accounts. Here's our array list for our accounts. That is where we store our accounts. And then just add remove account. We have this next account ID because we have like an ID here which we want to like have 1 to whatever. Basically it's ascending order. So if we have one more account, then we add one more, and then let's say we remove the third one. That's it, admin, or it's admin. So if we normally remove this and then not change the ID, it'll be 1, 2, 4, 5. But because we have this update account IDs every time we remove an account, we would be able to control the ID number. So let's remove this, and then we can see it is still 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2, 4, 5 for the account ID. And then yeah, that's it. We also have the select account username, which we use for selecting accounts. It's just a for loop that loops through all the accounts until it gets the same username as the input. And then our save manager is a bit simple. We just have a save to file. We would create our user list here, and then we get our user list from our app controller. We apply it, or we apply it to that, and then it's a for loop here, which on every account it would write our account information, which is here: ID number, name, password, account type, and then status. and then after that, that's it, we just close. And then for our read file, this is where we would read the save file, and then we would make an account object for every account inside that file, and then we would add that to user list, and then that would just loop while there is still a line inside the file. That's it. That's all the stuff in my program. All the code explained. Thank you. Bye.